We'll open the forum, we'll move on to the recognition.
All right, we got a little different recognition where Miss Bell is going to come up, bring your kids up. She's going to recognize some art students for y'all.
I'm gonna recognize Ms. Bell real quick first. So come on, Ms. Bell. So it is really different this time, but after the fair, we really talked about just recognizing Ms. Bell and what she's done in building an art program at Aspermont. And it's been a work of progress, and her classes are full. There's different levels of talent. She's like extremely working with sixth grade all the way up through seniors, kids who've been in art now for 3-4 years, to beginners, and it's really been fun. And she's always looking for ways to showcase their talents, and whether that's our local art show, taking them to the fair, going to base competitions, we had a fair state competitor last year, and so I just wanted, before she talked about how proud she is of her kids, talk about how proud I am of Ms. Bell, because she brought something really unique to our kids, and a place for kids to shine and use their creativity and be proud of the work they do. So thank you, Ms. Bell.
So I just want to thank you guys so much for supporting this program. I know it was a new thing whenever I came on, and you know, it's extra money, but I really appreciate you guys supporting it, because if we didn't have y'all support, then we wouldn't be able to do the things we do. So I, for the past 3 years, I think, I have submitted artwork into the West Texas Fair and Rodeo Creative Arts Division, and we've had kids place before, but this year we had a lot of kids place, and we had a really special award that was given to one of our students, which was pretty awesome. And I have my junior high kids that placed here, and then we have 2 high school kids that placed, but they're at practice right now. So Georgia Seaton, she I don't know where her kids are. It might have fallen now, but that's okay. Sorry. So Georgia Seaton placed 3rd in the senior division of acrylic painting. And what's really great about this competition is because it's from people all over the big country, all over Abilene, all over just everywhere. And there was 265 youth fine art entries, which is what we entered our pieces in. And we had 18 kids enter, and we had 12 place. So it's kind of cool. So Georgia Seaton, she got 3rd place at the senior level acrylic. Sarah Mutter, have her come. So Sarah Mutter is this one right here, and she got 2nd place in junior colored pencil is what she got in here. So
Just stay up there. We'll take a big group
yeah, just
picture of
stay up here.
everybody.
Okay. Rayleigh Myers. So Rayleigh's is over there behind y'all. The initials. Yep, go show 'em. So Rayleigh got 2nd place in the junior division. So it's divided up into age groups. The junior division is 11 to 13-year-olds, I believe. And so all this artwork that they did when they were in 6th grade. And so, and then I put it in for this year. And she got 2nd place with junior watercolors. And Melinda. Okay, so Melinda got 4th place. Hers is the hot air balloon. She got 4th place in junior drawing. Sorry. Junior watercolors, sorry. And then Emily Silva got 2nd place in senior watercolors, and hers is the Venus over there. And Tessa Robble got 1st place in junior watercolors, and hers was the disco dress. And Sophie Silva, hers is over here. I was hoping you guys wouldn't try to take mine. She got 1st place in clay models. Okay. And Judah Garcia. So Judah Garcia got 1st place with her black and white drawing over there. And I just thought she got first place, and I was really excited about that because it's an amazing drawing. She did an amazing job on it. But when I went to go pick up the artwork, we found out that she actually got best in show in the junior division. So she got best of show out of all of the 11 to 14-year-olds. And so I'm just really proud of these ladies. Most of them came in as 6th graders, and they just went all out. And most of them, all of them, participated in BASE. BASE competition is Visual Arts Scholastic event. It's our UIL-like event for art. And they go and they have to interview with the judge about their artwork, and it's just a really great thing that we do. So thank you ladies so much, and thank you board for supporting our program.
We'll take like a big group picture right there, just one. Somebody just squeeze in. Ms. Bell, get in there with us. Y'all might have to, girls, will y'all stand in front of the board members?
Yeah, let's go scooch over there.
We'll just do cheers. Make it as good as we can here. Y'all ready? Go. Count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
I will take this.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's our recognitions.
So ready to go. And I'll say.
Good job.
Good job. Thank you, Ms. Bell.
Get back over there with the ISD.
Moving forward to the action items. We're gonna go ahead and move up to 2.4. Do that first, and we're gonna go ahead with consider and approve the contract with Hempthorne Construction for phase 2 construction of the 2024 project, including locker room, junior high renovation, utilizing the TIPS purchasing cooperative.
Okay, so in your packet, this is the header page of the documentation that he's going to go over. It'll be all the numbers. So it'll be about 3 pages in your packet. It's down a little ways, but Mike Hyde is here with Gallagher. I didn't know he was going to be here, but he definitely has a better presentation of this than I do. So he's going to present the information for it and answer any questions that y'all have on the numbers up to this point. You don't need a hand copy, printed copy.
Just kind of run through.
You want to slow them down, or you got them?
Yeah. Kind of go over the second page, which is the project summary. The amounts here. We got the phase 1, that was what the Hempthorne was already contracted for. That included the first change order. Phase 2 is based on the drawings that created, and that's Hempthorne's price. And then there's some other items that are costs and stuff associated with it. So that would be the total for what we're calling phase 1 and phase 2, which is the gym renovation, the locker rooms, the restrooms, and then over here we've got the restrooms, and then we're putting a new window out, putting laminate wall covering on the hallways. There are some options here as well. I'm going to go through first the Gallagher managed items. The first item has been done. That was the original payment. And along with that was the consultant. John Drew was the consultant. E-Logic was the abater. The ones that did this hallway out here. Phase 2, asbestos abatement. We did some more testing over in the gymnasium, and then there is hot mastic and tile in the bathrooms. There's some also at the two landings of the bleachers, and then out in the concession lobby. There's actually tile underneath that ceramic tile that's on. Now that, we only have to do that if we do new bleachers. So it's still an option, it still hasn't been committed. But that would be phase 2 of it. That's what all that's about. The Moyers, the sound system that's been installed, the goals and the pads by Ponder, it's actually installed. We finished the goals yesterday. We've got to run power to them, but the goals themselves are replaced. District managed item, we got a junior high AC. Now that's something I believe that been discussed with Terry. I can't remember his last name.
Let's.
And now there are some questions there which may affect that number. Like he wanted, I think there's discussion of raising the condensing unit. Depending on where you put that condensing unit, it may change the price a little bit.
Y'all had asked me one time about not having them on the ground and maybe putting them on top of the ceiling, or he said you could even mount them on the wall. He said put them on the ceiling, on the roof, then it'd be a little bit more because you're going to have to run more material. He said you could do it either way. I'd just been asked here one time about them not being on the ground all the way around.
And that's on these units here?
Yeah, the mini splits.
And if you put them on the roof, there may be a little bit of roofing along with that.
Yep.
But this was the original budget that I guess he provided.
Yes.
A while back.
So the 70,000 for all the units, all the labor for all the rooms. If you go on the roof, all of that, put them on the ground. If you go on the roof, they'll add a little bit to it. He didn't say how much. He said it would depend on how much material you had to add to it. I don't know that it'd be a huge addition, but it will be a little bit more if y'all want them up out of sight.
Plumbing repairs, that was, we ran a camera in the sewer and tried to determine where the sewer was originally, because those were drawings. And then the other one was, we had some pressure issues over at the temporary locker room. And that's been done, it's been paid. Also got dumpsters at 10,000. That's just a budget line item. I think you spent about
800 so far.
So it just depends on how it pans out. Phase 2 alternates. Per the drawings, the place of sewer line at the gym, there was an alternate to where the tie-in point is, which is on that end of the building. This alternate was to replace the line from there to the. We don't know for sure that we have to do that, but it was just identified as an alternate. We're going to need to do some more camera work to determine if that has to be done. But this was based on the drawings and the alternate that was on the drawings. That was the ad. And then there was a rubber floor in the training room as opposed to single concrete. So that was, again, another requested alternate. The 6 new trophy cases, they weren't designed on the drawings, so that's a budget item. I think right now the lockers where they're at right now, they come out and that hole in the wall, basically we create a showcase, trophy case in that. There's 8 of them out there now. Let's go back with 6 trophy cases. So there's a little bit. So costume storage. I gave Mr. Morris some racks that is what we suggested. I think they're looking at it to see how many shells for shoes and all this kind of stuff. That's just a budget number based on what design we come up with. But you have a lot of options with this. It's a pretty simple system. It's just a shelf system and hanging rods and stuff.
One act plate storage, costume, shoes, that kind of stuff.
And then the next item was the acoustical system lights for this building. Let's change them out. And what we're calling the wish list items is replace the bleachers, refinish the elementary, I call it the elementary gym floor. That, we had a quote that was actually 95 to 100, but 100 in there, but it's which way we go. And then there's the second gym abatement that we would have to do. And if we have to pull up that flooring, if you take the bleachers, then you have to do the flooring. If you do the abatement, then you have to put something back down there. New flooring. So I got 11,000 for that. And then there's our total and what is remaining. Now, one thing, a couple of things that aren't included at this point. Okay, and just, we've been considering anything that covered with the bond. I believe you can pay the deductible on the roofing if we end up doing that. I think it can come out of the bond. I haven't, the only thing that we priced or have a number on at the elementary gym right now is the floor. And that's because it's got mercury in it and it needs to get rid of that. We're going to look at the new sheet metal, we're working bathrooms, all that, but we haven't really got all the way into that yet. That would be come out of the, the extra funds. Okay, the other thing I had was a reference to these condensers, depending on where they're going, there might be a little money that. And I call it, we kind of looked around the gymnasium, the cook area, the grill area is what I call it. If we got some money left over, there's some things we want to look at in there. The condensing unit for the air handler for the concession area is pretty damaged, a lot of hail, and it doesn't. We're noticed the other day, it was kind of warm in there. We had Terry was here, so we went out and looked at it, and they're just having all the fins are crushed, and you can't get that unit anymore. So we're gonna have to figure out a place to put it. A new one if you decide to go that way. But it was not up until the drawings, and it's not until it's to replace. Yep. And then furniture and smart boards, we don't have, that money's gonna come out of that balance. And probably we're meeting with, or Intor is meeting with Armstrong with the ceilings tomorrow. We've come up with another panel, an Armstrong metal panel, just system perforated. And he's meeting with the manufacturer tomorrow to see if what we're looking at is will work for the situation. But so they'll probably be able to charge with this. And that's really, again, we just try to think of everything that we might run into now. I'm sure there'll be things that we run into that we didn't think about. But we've been kicking this back and forth for quite a while, trying to even if we didn't have a number, at least listed, so we do what we're going to do. So, y'all have any questions? Read. And what we specifically would like to get approved is the contract to handle and that the ceiling, because if you don't do the ceiling, there's other things that happen because of that. He's got to get up there to the power. Terry, what he's found doing, there's A&E boxes above the ceiling. He's going to extend that power to these units. Well, if we don't take the ceiling out, if we don't take it out for input, he has to. So there's going to be, depending on which sidings you select, there may be added together. That's specifically the one that will impact some of the other items, if you don't pay that single out as part of that requested alternate, then he's gonna have a little more expense doing his work.
Questions on
Didn't we just get a new unit like last year for this one?
that? Oh, yeah,
For just the auditorium?
just the auditorium.
Yeah, okay.
So that whole
So then he's
that whole
supposed to
chiller
come
system is valves are back. I mean, it's that old chiller system, so they cut that out. The plan has always been to come back. This is the most cost-effective way to do it, and they're easier to replace.
Right, so this is just for the rooms, not the auditorium.
Right? Yeah, the auditorium take care of it. Yes.
He did say that once we get up in there, if we're taking out all ceiling, once we get up in there, we need to consider whether or not you want to take out old piping that's up there that used to be part of the chilled water system, the heating water system. Just nasty old water up there. So that may be, once, like I said, once the ceiling's out, determine whether or not that should be done. There is some duct work. We'll see the louvers that come into here. Same thing on it. I want to be a little bit cautious. There was in the asbestos report, which I read for here, they did test the tile. It's on the upper ceiling, and it's not hot, but oftentimes the pipe insulation and acid leakage on it is hot. And so if we got into some of that, we would run into some more costs. But it wasn't on our report.
So if you came from the top, would you have to get into that? Any of that you're saying, like the pipe or any of that?
If you're going to remove it,
That's when you would get
that's
into
what
it.
you get into. And the duct work sometimes in the buildings in this period, the mastic that they use to seal the insulation, sometimes it's hot. So at
So that's like a last. If we get down to the end of the road and we want to take it down there.
you gotta determine that. But really, when the ceiling comes out,
Mhm.
you need to figure out is if you want it in these buildings or not. If you don't disturb it, you don't have to take it out.
Okay.
But if you don't disturb it,
Yep.
So and that's what you gotta do.
You should be able to go around anything we got up there.
Yeah, because we're not. If you do the new lighting, or you would use the same circuits, he's going to go from the VADs over, so he's not running a little bit of conduit. The pre-on lines are from the condenser, wherever we put it, to that right there. So we're not doing a lot out here. We don't have to touch duct work or anything. We don't have to. At least that's. We are getting we got somebody looking at the fire alarm system. The old system that's in here doesn't work. You can expand it. It's outdated. Whatever. It doesn't. You can't modify it. And there's no authority having jurisdiction out here. So there's no code that's accepted. So what we want to do is we're trying to develop something that just is really safety purposes. Just alarms the whole building if they get a smoke coming in that they know. We're not trying to call anybody or get the fire department here or any of that. The system's not in place for the city to do something. So we didn't want to spend a bunch of money putting in new addressable water system and it has nobody to call.
And that was a big conversation because they'd even talked about sprinkler systems. We don't have the water capacity to run a sprinkler system. So it really just came down to let's make it as cost effective and can we put something in place that would let everybody know there's a fire in the building, get out, make the calls you need to make just like you would. And like even our system at the elementary, it's got sprinklers and everything. It went off the other day. Nobody knows how to work that thing. And there's nobody around here that's going to come out and know how to work it. So you get on the phone and it's bling, 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 so it's, if you put one of those big expensive systems in, you don't have really anybody to run it or you don't have any code enforcement. I mean, So it made more sense. There was a lot of conversation, but it made more sense to put together a system that would just alert. So that's the plan on both the gym and here.
It's not like, a lot of bigger buildings, all that stuff, the fire department gets there and they look up the panel that tells them where it's going off and all that, here. It's either here or it's in there. And that they actually, for whatever reason, the engineer designed the system for the gymnasium, but he did minor here, and we got looking at it and said, you can't change this anyway. And it's just kind of snowballing into where we're at today.
So most of y'all saw that at the bottom, that remaining bond funds that you see there at the bottom. We still got to for sure buy furniture for the classrooms out of that, and then the ceiling. So, I don't know what the furniture is going to cost us, but I think it's still going to be in shape to do something with that PE gym and make it look nice and new for the PE part of it. And then anything, potentially the foyer, potentially maybe some of the other things around that we see.
So do we want to get a start on tearing it down? On cost?
On the gym,
Yeah.
the PE gym, we're starting to get some numbers together of what some skiing would cost, what restroom work might cost, all that. We'll bring that to you before we do anything over there. I got the floor a long time ago just because we had to find out if it was going to need abatement or what that would cost, and just kind of get an idea. So, of course, holding out, not knowing what this number was going to look like, I think we're in a good spot to get accomplished what we wanted to.
And really to kind of get things moving forward, planning around it, the initial amounts were inborn, and then the ceiling of lights, if we know we're going to do that, because from that some other things happen. How he's going to do his AC and some things like that. So those are the two primary items like consideration on.
So, does that need to be included in the motion for this? I think.
If you're not going to do it, then I would think you want to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be the lights and the ceiling.
Yeah.
It'll make a big difference. New lights, LED lights in there instead of solar lights.
So all this conversation comes from, remember, at the beginning I said I don't want to do anything above here because I don't know what we're going to get into. So I didn't know about even messing with the ceiling. Now we feel pretty comfortable that we can replace the ceiling, new lighting, better lighting in the hallway, all of that without having to mess
Get
with
up, yeah.
They specified a 2x2 ceiling. I don't know why, but so they usually look a little better than just 2x4.
So is the ceiling alternate and what else?
Well, just the base, the phase 2.
Okay.
That's the primary concern. I mean, eventually we have to address, if you want the rubber flooring instead of the sealed concrete, if you want the trophy cases, the 6 trophy cases. I mean, those just don't need to be made first.
Okay.
The ones that need to be made to get the ball rolling is the end thunder and the ceiling.
So as it's, I think the action would be as it's written here, including the alternate for the ceiling.
And we, on the bleachers, what did he tell us the other day?
10
4
weeks.
months.
Yep.
Yeah, 4 months out.
10 weeks and then get it in and install it and all that. But, yep.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want me to hang around below?
If nobody has questions, I don't think you have to.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions?
At least. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Be careful.
So is the ceiling and light, is that included in the phase two, or is that something?
No, it's not. It's that 180 that would come off.
That's 180 down here at the
Yeah.
bottom. Okay, that's what I was trying to find the price on.
So if you're in your current packet, it's probably not on there because he didn't have it on this first packet. It's not on mine that I included in there. It's added on this one that he printed out, I think, as an additional. Yep, 180. Yep. So that will put you at $7,750,000 left.
I make a motion to approve phase two of the addition of the 180 for the ceiling and lights.
Second. We have a motion with a second. All four. That motion carried unanimously. All right, we'll go ahead and scoot back up to 2.1 with the consent items. We'll start with minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
No second, all four? None opposed? Motion carried. All right, we'll go into the bills.
All right, 3 pages of bills. Most everything is pretty much what you've seen. There on the first page, just down the dishwasher service, we had to replace an element on that. It's still kind of giving us a hard time. They came out and serviced it again. So we're just working on keeping that running. Dishwasher there in the cafeteria. Pink sleeves, that's a one-time-a-year deal for our pink nights. They wear those, I guess, in October for volleyball. Officials, fuel, food, officials. Replace the tires and batteries on some route Suburbans. Junior high football officials. Annual paper order. Always make one big paper order and then kind of try to get through the year when it finishes out at the end of the year. Second page, I signed up for 4 trainings. It's the third one down there. It's TASBO, their state aid template trainings. Just some finance stuff that I thought would be beneficial. So I've done 1 of the 4. They go all the way to next August. They're kind of spaced out. I signed up for those. Dual credit textbooks, pretty much everything. The one there it says annual SI. So Lexia has been something we've paid out of school improvement, all the TIL stuff. We got extra funds. And we paid that out of there. Since we're no longer in that, we paid that out of our regular budget. So if you see that $4,600 there for Lexia, that's our ELA that we use in remediation during a hornet storm time. So beneficial. UIL's practice events, volleyball, an annual posting for Edgerman, Parkman, Fleming, that Gatsby 101 down there. You can see the attorney work on our partnership agreement with Fort Davis that we're going to talk about in a minute. Get that all correct. I wish our August water bill was $111.27. I think that was an additional invoice we got later. We'll tell you, we've had 3 big leaks. One over here on the corner of the junior high, one right up against the gym that ran all night. It was like a lake over here back on the other side of the gym. And then Colton Martin is wanting to start renting the house over here that we haven't been using. So we cut the water on to it and it had a leak. So we're replacing some flooring in it and doing some stuff. So I don't know what the water bill will be, but typically, actually I do know, typically it's about $4,500 in September. I think our bill this month was $5,200, so about $700 more than normal. We had 3 really big water leaks, so that's just something to know. Our guys fixed all those, so anyways. Scissor lift, that was a purchase that I thought was necessary. We changed all those lights all the time in the gym. We put stuff up and down, banners. We always call Terry, and if his is available, we borrow it. We've had one that's been sitting out here at the old band hall annex for 10 years and hasn't run. And so we got some credit for it, nearly $1,000 for it. I traded it in and bought one, and it's been a lot of help just to have around. I thought it was something we needed. Then you got football, volleyball equipment, Chromebook insurance, which is an annual insurance fee we pay, and then all your huddle accounts, which have gone up quite a bit. But that's football, volleyball, and basketball huddle accounts. And we've been using huddle for a long time.
Is that for the year?
Huddle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for the year. Yeah.
Move to approve the bills as read.
Second.
Second on 4. No opposed. All right, we'll move forward to consider approval early and partnership agreement with ISD.
Okay, y'all got a couple pages here. I'm just going to highlight a couple things for you. We've talked about this since July, I think. Like last board meeting, I told you the attorney was going over, wanted to make sure there were some things in there that covered the district, make sure the district was covered. So really on the first page, just the term. He wanted to make sure that it was a 1-year term, each agreement every year. It did not renew unless both parties renewed it. So that's written in up there on the first page. It doesn't just automatically renew. You have to renew it every year. So we have to take action to renew it every year. That was one of the attorney's things that he wanted on there. There at the start of the second page, it can be terminated at any time by either party. Okay, that was important to be in there. Kind of gives you the roles of both entities, what they'll do. Not a lot on the next page or the next page. Where you get to page 5, I think, it talks about executed partnerships, the cost, all of that. We've talked about that. The 10% fee is down there. I've actually been working with her quite a bit, just assuming that we were going to get to this point. I've got 2 daycares set up already that we're almost through an MOU with them. One is our local daycare. So she's been helping me through that, even though we weren't in a true contract with them. So she's been real helpful. Has a lot of good information. So there's all your pay. The one thing the attorney wanted in there was that any fees, so number 2 on page, I believe it's page 6, say an hourly rate of $300.
Yeah.
Okay. any fees that were billed in that capacity, that I was given approval ahead of time for those fees. So there need to be something stating that I was okay with her coming or whatever else. So you see that in there twice. Approval by AISD superintendent unless otherwise approved by SD superintendent. And then the last page is not really anything that was different from what we talked about. Questions on that?
How many kids is it?
5 here and 12 at the other one in Coleman. Is there one in Coleman? I'll reach out to them. And then she's been calling me about some other ones that are ready.
Right.
And once we kind of got to the spot, so the daycares are kind of through Texas Workforce. The daycares work through Texas Workforce, and I've been working with her to get the information that I needed. And so, I think it's not a lot of money for those 17, but it's $50,000, a piece for them and for us, split however. I'm gonna go meet with them one day and talk, meet her staff, talk about procedurally how we're gonna handle some things. Those are already in place nearly. We're almost to that point to start enrolling kids.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for Fort Harris ISD.
Second on four. None opposed, motion carried. We'll move forward to 2-3, consider giving superintendent authority to enter into early ED or early ed partnerships.
Okay, to me, this just kind of comes along with it because, like these 2 that I'm in, we would like to get those kids enrolled by snapshot date so that those numbers reflect on TA payment to us. And she says these can come up at any time. Like it may come up today, and if somebody else is ready to go, they may, So just the authority to, if I see one that is beneficial for the district, I can get y'all the information, but I can go ahead and start the process of entering into that contract with that MOU.
Make a motion to approve the contractual authority to the superintendent for early ed partnerships.
Second. Second on four. None opposed. All right, we'll move forward to 2.5, consider nominees for CAB.
Okay, I put this as an action last year and we didn't take any action on it, but I did it again just in case you had someone you wanted to put on there.
So just leave. If they're
If they're willing to
if they're willing to
run,
get on, roll with it.
historically y'all have rolled with it. So but I wanted to, we don't have to take any action on that. I can just let her know that we don't have anybody to add to the ticket and she can move forward. So if that works for y'all, if everybody's good, that's what I'll do. So we won't take any action on it.
No action. All right, we'll move to the information discussion item with, move along with the administrator reports.
All right, just have a couple of celebrations and things just to kind of put on your radar. It's kind of calm right now. Just shout out real quickly to our cross country kids. They did run today at regionals in Arlington. And it was a really good experience. I told Coach Morris, I thought our kids just really showed up and competed. And it's overwhelming if you've never been to a regional meet. They've never ran with that many kids, and it was a really huge start line. They got down into a funnel about 6 kids wide fast, and we had a kid get knocked down, pushed down, stepped on, but they just really competed really super well. The boys finished up 12th overall as a team, and the girls finished up 15th. The girls did beat a district opponent that beat them at district. They beat them today, so that was a good improvement for them. We had 2, a boy and a girl each. Grayson English and Emily Silva barely missed out, qualified for state by about 3 positions. So super proud of them. I think it's a good start. We're extremely young. We had 5 freshmen and 3 sophomores running, so it's a young team. We lose 2 seniors, but I think just a shout out to Coach Haas. He took that on kind of at the last minute and did a great job building that program back up. All 4 teams. We had 4 teams, junior high and high school, We haven't had that in 3 years, and they all were the top 3. So just really proud of Coach Haas what he did with that program. Football, it's been fun if you've been able to go watch. We're currently 18-1 as a program. We lost our first game the other night. Those little 6th graders, they're so much fun to watch. And coaches took a risk and split the 6th graders and the 7th and 8th graders. And we took a little hit from a team, but it's an opportunity for our kids to get better. And I think that's great. Our coaches have done a good job finding games and challenging those kids. And that way every kid's getting playing time. And so it's been good right there. So 2 games left in district. We got Jake next week. And then Paint Creek the following week, which should have some playoff implications for us. Volleyball, you got to go to Rotan on Friday. It was an exciting game. Nice big comeback win. Got down 0-2 and really got down the 3rd set. And then the girls came alive and they fought. And so that did give them the district championship, beating Rotan in that game. So playoffs are kind of to be determined. We will get a first round bye. Their first playoff game will be like November 3rd, 4th. So tomorrow night's our last junior high game, and then varsity will start getting ready for the playoffs. So proud of that group of kids. FFA tomorrow's traveling, or Wednesday, he's going to be traveling to Tarleton for their first LDE Invitational. He's taking 6 kids, some radio kids, some Creed speakers, to go compete at Tarleton on Wednesday. And then they have their district competition on November the 18th at Anson. So that's all coming up. And then Congress, they've been to a practice meet, and then this last weekend they went to a little workshop for debate. And again, it's kind of a repeat of what I've already said. We got a lot of young kids, and just a real big, and this is kind of as a mom and a principal, but Jackson Hodges has been great. He is going to those debate meets with 4 freshmen in him, and he has been a great leader. I know my kid comes home all the time saying, like, I'm excited, Jackson's teaching me, he's showing me, he's telling me to take risks. And so that's what works, is when you have young kids and good leaders, and I think we have a really great example of that all the way around our school right now. So just a quick shout out to Jackson for his leadership through that, trying to get that program sustained and to continue to grow. So things coming up, we have Fall Festival on Thursday night. I've got lots of booths planned, sock hop, talent show, all of those things. Next week, all week is Red Ribbon Week. We do have a presentation coming in. It's called Aspen's Blessing. And Paint Creek and Rule are going to be coming over and joining us for that. TxDOT comes out and does a rollover simulator to talk to kids about the dangers of drinking and driving, texting and driving. And then if you've never heard Aspen's story, she's been in a few of the local churches in the area. But it's a family whose daughter was killed at the age of 18 in a rollover. They've got a great testimony and story, and so they're going to come out and present that to our kids. And Paint Creek and Rule will be on campus enjoying that presentation with us on that day. One Act Play is right around the corner. They're going to do their fall production November the 3rd, and they go to Hamlin for district on the 20th, and rehearse our UL invitation on the 10th. So never slows down, but it's good. They did take the 4th graders over to Spur for a little field trip the other day out at the electrical deal, and it went really well. Those 4th graders, they love to get on the bus and go places. So it's exciting. It's good things. 9 weeks, we're already halfway done with the first semester. Don't even know how it's possible. But there we are. So that's what I got.
Thank you. All right.
Board of Superintendent.
Okay, attendance was up when she ran this to 200. I think we had 1 checkout. You took one. We're down. We're probably down to 198. I think we're back down to 198. So kind of ins and outs, but definitely up from 181 where we finished last year. Good numbers, and then I think we've got at least one supposed to be checking in. Was supposed to check in today, maybe check in tomorrow. Your budget report on the next page. Pretty much all your functions are where they should be. I guess you really factored out. We're about 16% into the year, so you should be about 16 to 20%. Most of them below that or at that. One function 12 is not a big function. That's one annual payment. It's holding that. It'll stay there for probably a while. But budget is looking on. I mean, it's pretty typical where we're at this time of year. On your investment report, you can see we did, if you look in the total column, we did get our settle up payment from the state, which makes that look a lot better, as well as our first check for our roof. So that was 190 something thousand. I don't remember exactly what it was. They went in there to kind of bump that. So that's looking good there. You got 38,000 in your permanent school fund. probably gonna need to think about a little bit of that for baseball field. I think we've got 13 that wanna play. So we've been looking at the restroom out there. What little bit of work can we do to put a roof on that, some new toilets, clean that up, make it workable again. Somebody told me the other day they still use it when they have stock shows out there. I haven't seen anybody use it, but they said it gets used. So hopefully all the sewer is good. I think it's a septic system out there. Anyways, so that we're gonna have to put something along the backstop there. The press box, the stairs that go up to the press box are not even connected anymore, so we got to get that fixed. Joe and them are going to build us some stairs that go up to that. Probably going to take some wood floor. We're going to get the old bleachers that are out at the lawnmower racing venue and bring those back. Just some work that needs to be done to have that ready to play baseball on. But if we start doing some work on that, I'll let you know. May use some of that for that. I think we'll be able to take care of the PE gym, the bond. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I'm really pretty happy where all that is. I think we'll get a lot of stuff done with the money that we went out for. I think the 7.5 was just right. We're going to get all the stuff done we need to get done. And it's all going to look really nice. We got the backboards up. If you haven't seen them, they look good. Once we figure out this ceiling deal, I tell y'all we did the mock-up and we threw balls at it and all that. Yeah, that was the answer. That panel was going to be just right. And it bent it up, so that's not going to work. It's going to have to be thicker than that. So, the ceiling has been a back and forth on everything, and it continues to be. So we're going to make sure we get something good up there. Anyways, that's your investment report. I did include the auditor's exit memo. I don't remember if I did that last year or not. He'll come and report on all this stuff to you anyways. A couple of things, none of it is all is what it is. Activity accounts, I think we've told y'all this before. Cheerleaders, for instance, like they fundraise, they buy all their stuff and then they fundraise and replace it. So it's in a negative balance until they fundraise and replace it. Okay, so it stays in every year. He tells us about that every year. We got one in a deficit balance. So activity accounts are good. That's going to be all your student accounts, the money in and out of those accounts. The debt service, Ariel told us to code it to principal. He thought it should have been coded to interest or the in and out. Anyways, it just wasn't coded to the right place. It wasn't an issue. It just wasn't coded in the right place. I think it's kind of going down there. Number 2 on B, I have to do a public investor training every other year. I've had it. I just actually got it done last month, so it's up to date now. I guess the biggest thing to me was the fund balance. We were only a deficit of 198,635. Where in my mind I thought we were going to be closer to 250 is what I told y'all that day. I wasn't sure what all was going to come in. So I think some of the interest on some things helped us, but I just never know how to figure all that stuff at the end with the accruals and what's coming in and out, and then all of the salaries that we had to increase in there. I just didn't want to give you a number that I didn't think was lower. So that's a positive thing there. We adopted 198 and we ran 198 as a deficit. So well, I guess it's not good to run a deficit ever, but that's I guess it's a lot better than 300. I think he got the debt service backwards. I think it went from 266 to 60, and he says in there it decreased from 60 to 266.
I think you put it back.
I think he got it backwards because we paid that one payment on the bond out of the excess debt service funds we had. So I think he just got that backwards. Anyways, in the morning, that's one of the things he said there. On number 1 under B, the district reported bond proceeds into an existing INS bank account versus establishing a unique bank account. So he wanted us to put it in 2 different. I said at Charles' desk, and we called him when we got those funds, and I asked him specifically, do we need to set up a separate bank account for this? And he said, no, it all goes into your INS account. And then when he does our audit, he tells us we should put it in 2 separate accounts. So in the morning, I'm gonna go down to the bank. I've got a resolution for Zoe to sign to change, to split that off. Not a big deal, but we gotta separate the bond funds from the existing debt funds. And then I just included this. This is Senate Bill 10. I don't know if y'all heard anything on the 10 Commandments. Did y'all read it? Basically, the law said if somebody brings you the 10 Commandments, you're required to put those on the walls in the classrooms. And I had a guy bring me 23 copies, posters of them, so we'll get them laminated and hung up. I don't have an issue with it. We just haven't got them. I just got them two days ago, or what is the day? Monday. I got them on Friday. Yeah, I got them on Friday when he came. So we'll get those hung up. So if y'all hear anybody ask about the 10 Commandments or in the classroom or whatever, it was in this last legislation, they passed that, and that's the information on it there if you're interested. Coach Potts talked about Fall Festival. That is Thursday. It looks like there's a chance for rain, so we're going to have a plan for that. Talked about the auditor report at the baseball field. I have November 17th as our next meeting. The auditor will be here for that meeting to do the report for y'all. Any questions on anything?
We look, like, whenever we look at the gym, should we look at, like, the cost difference between building a new one from the ground up versus putting a new shell and all that, and just see what the difference is?
Yeah, I think when you get into, so you got 175, say, in that neighborhood, you get into all the furniture and stuff you're gonna have to buy here. I mean, you're gonna get close down to that 1 million. And then remember, they did us and all. They kind of guessed at what a 1.1, I think, is what they said when Gallagher kind of guessed at what a new one similar to that would cost us. So I took we talked about it last week. He's supposed to be giving me numbers on if we just put new skin on it, redid the bathrooms, the new floor, all of that heat and air, what that would cost.
And, like, would they insulate it too?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It'd basically be brand new. You just keep the slab and the plumbing that's already there. The only other thing we talked about was maybe extending it out and having more storage room. You could extend off this west side, but you still keep those poles there. When you're practicing those, it's just narrow. I would like to do that, but if you just keep the 4 poles there that are the initial structure, it kind of takes away from some of that. But that might be something if we extended it. And he's supposed to, I asked him the other day, I said, okay, when y'all are gone, if we want to put a metal building up, what's that going to cost me? And so he's supposed to be looking at that. I'm going to get all the options I can for y'all to have and let's look at. I think at the end of the day, a new floor with the new skin, because the structure of it's pretty good. There's one little spot in the northwest corner that probably could be replaced on some purlin up there. But everything else, especially the ceiling, most of that's new purlin, but it was put on not too long ago, 20 years ago probably. I mean, that's a long time compared to 50 that the building is, but anyways. We'll look at all options and I'll bring it to y'all. The gym's gonna look really good. When it's all said and done, it's gonna look really good. I tried to get them to quote me some white scoreboards. They told me today because they had never done a white scoreboard. I had never seen one. I thought that black wall with some white scoreboard with red and black letters, I thought, man, that would look good. Said they had never done one. They said they could try to do it, they just don't know what it looked like. So I've got red ones that look pretty good too. I thought that white would really pop on that wall. Anyways, that's all I got. I don't have anything to close. Unless y'all do.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All four. Appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of the week.